All right, gonna do a quick predictions video. We need one for week 12. It's a really big, important week. There's not a ton of important games, um, but there's a lot of stuff on the line for a lot of people. I'm gonna break down what the conference championship situation looks like. Look at top 25. Look at everybody's playoff picture, as well as predict this week's games. Look at some Heisman races, players of the week, awards watch list. Just kind of go over everything. Just be me for this video. So we'll start it off with a look at the top 25. Clemson finally takes the #1 spot. EPL having a great season. Followed by Syracuse, Michigan, Colorado, and Penn State are your top 5. Arkansas, Texas A&M, Auburn, Ohio State, and Texas round out the top 10 with users at 11, 13, 21, and 24 as well. Quick look at the CFP bracket. Of course, this is nowhere near what it's going to look like in the end. Shit changes a million times, but that's what we got right now. Would be a couple exciting first-round matchups. All right, look at the players of the week. National Defensive Player of the Week, Robert Pleasance, cornerback out of Air Force, 3 tackles, interception, 2 pass breakups, and a touchdown, and a loss to UNLV. Offensive Player of the Week, Linval Shabazz, receiver from Michigan, 15 grabs, 218 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, and a forced win over Michigan State. ACC Defensive Player of the Week, Andre Evans, 3 tackles, an interception, a pass breakup, and a touchdown, and a win over LSU. And Offensive Player of the Week, Kevin Riley, transfer from Alabama, plays against Alabama. 9 carries, 64 yards, 7 receptions, 64 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns for the Gator. Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, Torrell Robinson, 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 pass breakups, and a 35-24 win against USC. And then Offensive Player of the Week, Cam Michael, with 8 grabs, 124 yards, and a receiving touchdown, and a win over Stanford. Big 10 Defensive Player of the Week, George Westbrooks, will linebacker out of Iowa, with 9 tackles, a sack, 3 TFLs, an interception, and a touchdown, and a 42-14 win over Virginia Tech. Of course, Shabazz was the National Player of the Week. And then finally, the SEC Defensive Player of the Week, Hudson Fuku, with 5 tackles, an interception, and a touchdown, and a 31-15 win or loss at Texas A&M. And Arkansas's Kason Stokes, the receiver for the Razorbacks, had 7 grabs, 214, 4 receiving touchdowns, and a 24-point victory at Texas. Quick look at the Heisman watch. So Malachi James trying to go back-to-back for Syracuse, leading the way. Got 2 Wolverines right on his tail with Linval Shabazz and Cordell Wiggins. And then 2 CPUs in there. We got to get above the CPUs, guys. Take a brief look at this watch list. I'll just kind of run through it so you can see. It's going to be mostly what you'd expect. Got a fucking CPU leading the Coach of the Year race. That's crazy. And they're like 6-5 or something. Davey O'Brien, the Bednarik, Nagurski, Jim Thorpe, Doak Walker, Bolitnikoff. Just feel free to pause it if you want to look. If you see your team's name. Lombardi, Unitas, Defensive End of the Year. Does it really not have a name? It's just the Defensive End of the Year award? Okay. Outland, the Mackey, the Broyles, the Butkus, the Remington, Lou Groza, Ray Guy, Jet Award, and the Sean Alexander Award. All right, not going to look at bowl projections. They don't ever mean a damn thing. We will look at the conference standings next before we go into predictions because I want to break some of this down. So, starting off with the SEC, drops in a pretty good spot, 6-0. He's locked into the playoff. He's locked in the SEC championship game no matter what happens. It is a little bit of a race here between these next 3. If Mike can handle business versus Baylor, right, and then beat Morg the final week, of course he's going to be in because he's got the tiebreaker and only 1 loss. If Eric beats him and forces a 3-way tie here, and then assuming JJ handles his last 2 games and Mike doesn't lose to SMU, Baylor doesn't lose to Oklahoma the final week of the season. We'll end up with a 3-way tie, and it'll be up to the EA gods to figure it out because Baylor will have beat Texas, Texas would have beat A&M, and A&M would have beat Baylor. As far as bowl games go, LSU, Mississippi State both playing this week. I don't know where Dang's at. I'm assuming I'm getting the win over this. Well, I guess if Dang loses this week, he probably doesn't make it a bowl. A chance for 6 to get in a bowl, probably only going to be 5. Go look at the Big Ten. So Penn State is in a great spot. 5-1, should win his last game, finish 6-1. The only thing he doesn't want to happen is a three-way tie where maybe he gets unlucky and gets left out. Ryan also in a great spot. His last game he should win, going to finish 6-1. What's really going to come down to is the game, the final week of the year, between Michigan and Ohio State. Hayden already eliminated from a conference championship appearance, but could keep Michigan out of it. If he was to beat Michigan, it'd be Syracuse and Penn State with one loss, and they'll rematch in the Big Ten title in Indianapolis. But if Chapo wins the game, we get a three-way tie, who knows who comes out of there with the win. As far as bowl games go, big shout-out to Delvin. 13-year bowl drought, going to break it this year. He's got a CPU the final week of the season. Love to see that, making his first bowl game. These bottom three will not be going bowling this year. Big 12. So Savon's 5-0, 9-1, great spot. Not going to lose either of his final two games. I think he plays Oregon this week, so I mean that could throw a monkey wrench in it, but I don't foresee another Duck upset here. So assuming Savon will make it here, and then these last three, I mean it's a race. It's interesting. I'd love to see Dwayne up here. This week, BYU and Boise play. So what G's needs to do is handle business this week because the final week of the season is Oregon versus Boise State. Winner would be going to the Big 12 title game to play against Colorado in all likelihood. Assuming that that G's doesn't get upset this week by Dwayne, could end up in a three-way tie scenario here in the same way, with Oregon being 5-2, BYU being 5-2, and Boise being 5-2. Dwayne also needs to win this week because he's got Savon next week. So if he wants to make a bowl game, which would be great for his program, get him up in prestige some, he needs to win here. These bottom four will not be going bowling. Really not a great year. ACC-wise, by far the most hectic situation. I'm not even going to attempt to break it down. You see the two at the bottom that won't be going bowling. Everybody else probably is going to make a bowl game. Except for Rob, who's in a little bit of danger because he's got Twan this week and Ryan next week. So not where he wants to be. Could finish 5-7 and miss out. But he's in the best scenario as far as making the ACC championship game. If he beats if he beats Twan this week, he's going to be 5-2. Going to have tiebreakers over Florida State or Florida, whoever makes it. So Rob can punch his ticket to the ACC title. Peso also in a pretty good spot. He's got Georgia this week. But again, he's going to have to beat Twan the final week of the season. If either one of them can do that, they're going to have a good chance. And then these two right here play the final week of the season. But unfortunately for LP, he also plays Clemson this week, which is going to be a big-time matchup. So, I mean, it's a fucking logjam. Twan at 2-3 can't make the conference title game, but he can absolutely fucking ruin Miami and Auburn's chances of making it. So Alabama going to get to play some spoiler here at the end of the year. All right, we will get into the predictions now. Like I said, not a ton of crazy games, but still a lot on the line for some teams out here. The Deep South's oldest rivalry, that is not the name of this rivalry game. That I think that's the name. No, yes, it is. Deep South's oldest rivalry. I'm just getting Georgia and Georgia Tech mixed up, but that's plain old-fashioned hate. Got the Auburn Tigers at 6-4, 8th ranked. Peso trying to make his first playoff appearance with Auburn this year, traveling to Athens to play the hated rival Georgia Bulldogs at 2-8, and Coach Board kind of putting stuff together throughout this season. He's gotten better. His roster's still really good. This one could be a sneaky game if Peso doesn't play at his best, but I really like Peso's defense in this matchup. So I'm going to take the Tigers to come in between the hedges and win 31-14 over Georgia. This matchup I already kind of discussed, but the 5-5 Miami Hurricanes, Coach Rob traveling to T-Town to play the 5-5 Alabama Crimson Tide, and Coach Twan. Both of them, of course, need a win to make a bowl game. A lot on the line for Rob as far as ACC title odds. I think that Rob beat Twan last year or the year before or something like that. I don't see that happening here. If he was home, I like his chances a lot more. Twan's got also some stuff going on with his fingers. He got in an accident, so y'all pray for him. And so he's having to play a little hobbled, not playing the way he wants to. But I'm going to say that Alabama takes care of business here at home. He will do enough that he needs to. Defense is going to step up. Overall roster is going to make a difference in this one. Give me Alabama 31-24 over Miami. The 13th ranked Florida Gators at 6-4. Coach Gabe traveling to Raleigh to play the 2-8 NC State Wolfpack and Coach Dean. Dean, down roster-wise for sure. Gabe's roster isn't as good as it usually is after the mass exodus last year, specifically on defense. So I think Dean's going to put some points up in this one. The problem is there is zero chance that Dean stops Gabe even one time. I mean, I think Gabe could run fullback dive every play, and he might just move right down the field. So I'm going to take Florida to score a fuck ton of points and win 52-24 over NC State. Number 1 ranked Clemson Tigers traveling to Tallahassee to play the 21st ranked Florida State Seminoles, 6-4. Clemson was 9-1. This is E-Fly at LP. Always a fun game. LP took a huge hit with that loss to Rob last week. I think he fell from like 6th or 7th all the way to 21st. So not only does he need this win to keep himself alive in the ACC title race, with a loss here, you can kiss the playoffs goodbye in general. So it's a must-win for Florida State. I like the Seminoles here with their back up against the wall to come out with the victory. It's hard to pick against the number 1 team in the nation. EFLA's roster is really good, but that Seminole roster is good too. So give me LP to win this one at home, 27-24, field goal at the gun. Almost picked up the week there. Moving on to the Big 12, we got Rock here, who's going to be getting a forced win over Ole Miss. And then we have Stanford here, Chevy, who's going to be getting a forced win over... acid reflux. Over Cal. Next, what is always, a good game for TV purposes, not so much as a good game this year, with the 2-8 USC Trojans, Coach Sab, traveling to Pasadena, right across town, to play the 1-10 UCLA Bruins and Coach Stees. Both these two desperately need a win just to get some momentum heading into the actually, Sab has another game after this one. But heading into the offseason, rivalry win, those always matter. I'm sure there's some visits on there for UCLA if he's been doing his recruiting. I don't know a whole lot about Stees. The performances I've seen haven't been great. Sab is not near as bad as that 2-8 record looks like. So I'm going to take USC to win this one on the road, 31-17 over UCLA. Next, these last two matchups, two big ones in the Big 12, going to decide a lot. 5-5 Boise State Broncos Coach G's traveling to Provo to play the 5-5 BYU Cougars and Coach Dwayne. Not only do both of these two need a win, one second. No. Not only do these two desperately both need a win to make a bowl game with a tough matchup for each of their final games, loser is not going to make the Big 12 title game. Winner is going to have a good opportunity to make it, just need some other dominoes to fall their way. I think this one's going to be close. Dwayne doesn't turn the ball over. Sometimes G's has those games where he just turns the ball over a shit ton. Both these two want to run the football. I think whoever makes the least mistakes is going to win the game. I like G's on his slight edge passing. Defensively, I think it's a wash either way. God, I hate G's with a passing edge. It's crazy. This one's going to be really close. Give me Boise State 28-24 at BYU. But don't be surprised if Gramps and the Cougars come out on top. Next, 24th ranked Oregon Ducks at 7-3. Coach Freeway traveling to Boulder to play the 4th ranked Colorado Buffs at 9-1. And Coach Savon Freeway's beaten Savon once, so never say never, although that was season 1, and this is not now. So Savon's roster is up to date now. This one, I don't think it'll be particularly close. I know it matters a lot for Freeway. He needs the win. It's going to lock whoever wins this game into the Big 12 title game. On the road, user skill here, it's not going to be pretty, I think, especially with Oregon barely beating BYU last week. So I'm going to take Colorado to win this one 45-17 at home over Oregon, which is going to set up a great matchup the final week of the season between Oregon and Boise State to make the Big 12 title. Big 10, shit's crazy here. Although not this week, because everybody's got matchups they should win as far as the Big 12, the Big 4. So 9-1 Michigan Wolverines, ranked 3rd, and Coach Topo traveling to Blacksburg, played 2-8 Virginia Tech Hokies, and Coach Chap. Chap got a big win last week, or the week before, excuse me. So he's got a little momentum right now, but not where he wants to be record-wise, obviously. He's going to be the sole leader in the longest bowl drought at 14 seasons when this season ends. This one's going to be ugly. The Michigan roster is really good. I want to pick the shutout, but I'm going to pick a Virginia Tech field goal in this one. So I'm going to say 45-3. Michigan handles business. Next, maybe the only matchup of the week that could be sneaky close under the right circumstances, although Nelly is not having the year he wants to have with Notre Dame. But the 5th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions at 9-2, and Coach Des traveling to South Bend to play the 3-7 Notre Dame Fighting Irish and Coach Nelly. Been some regression for the Irish this season. Don't like to see that. And Penn State playing at its best. So two teams heading in opposite directions at the moment. I think Des will win this game. Maybe it's close early, but the turnover difference will be in the defense will be the difference in this game. So I'm going to take Penn State to win this one 38-14 over Notre Dame. 5-5 Wisconsin Badgers. Coach Delvin traveling to the Shoe to play the 9th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes at 7-3. And Coach Hayden, this will be an ugly game. I think it's going to be hard for Delvin to score, although he does run the ball effectively, which could frustrate Hayden. But I'm going to take the Buckeyes to roll in this one 31-7. And then finally, Ryan with his, I think we're at it. Let me look at what the win streak is now, because I know he's got 2 decent streaks going currently. So he's got a 10-game home win streak. If he can win this week, he will tie Des at 11-game home win streaks, which would be the active records in the league. He also has the longest current win streak in the league at 7 games in a row. So he's looking to extend that here. The Orange at 2nd ranked at 9-1 are playing against the 3-7 Iowa Hawkeyes and Coach Hudson or Grant or whatever you believe. So I expect Syracuse to roll in this one. I don't think Hudson's that bad of a user, truthfully. I think that, he's going to solidify himself at least battling Nelly every season to finish 5th in the conference. But being on the road, tough matchup here, not what you want to see. I'm going to take Syracuse to blow out Iowa. Let's go 49-21. Heading to the SEC games. I'll do a prediction on this one, although I'm not I don't think Dang's going to play. I think he said this is his final season, and he's already been MIA, so looking to probably replace LSU here soon. But the 5-5 Tigers traveling to Starkville to play the 5-5 Mississippi State Bulldogs. Dang being rusty, I probably would have picked myself to win close anyway, so we'll go with that. I'll say State wins 28-24 if we play. Not super optimistic that's going to happen, though. 3-7 Oklahoma Sooners. Coach Morg traveling to College Station to play the 7th-ranked Texas A&M Aggies at 8-2. And Coach JJ has to win this game, although he should. Morg coming off a big win at SMU, so maybe a little bit of momentum for that one. Unfortunately for him, this game will probably not be a torrential downpour, much to the happiness of everyone wearing maroon in this game. So give me Texas A&M to win 45-14 over Oklahoma. 45-14 over Oklahoma. 1-9 Ponies, SMU and the Mustangs. Coach Clip traveling to Fayetteville to play the 6th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks at 6-4. And Coach Drop could lose this game and still make the SEC championship game, but any loss at all, especially one of this caliber, is going to put him in danger of missing the playoffs if he were not to win the SEC title. All that being said, I don't think it's going to matter. Arkansas probably going to roll in this game. God, these two both have excellent fucking logos. 2 of the best logos in all of college football. Arkansas is going to roll in this one. It's going to be really ugly. Not a good game for Clip, especially on the road. So give me the Razorbacks to win this one 49-14 over SMU. Finally, in one of the biggest games of the matchup, a rivalry, biggest games of the week, a matchup between the 10th-ranked Texas Longhorns at 8-2 and Coach Mike traveling to Waco to play the 11th-ranked Baylor Bears at 6-4 and Coach Eric. Loser of this game, probably not going to make the playoffs, unless they were to make, in Mike's case, if he were to make the SEC title game still. So, I mean, this is down to all the marbles. Neither one of them can afford to win. Both of them probably are going to win their last game of the season. Doesn't get any bigger than this. Mike would be punching his ticket to the SEC title and slamming the door on Texas A&M from a possible 4 straight SEC titles. This is going to be a close game. I'm actually going to take Baylor to win this one at home. I think that Mike easily could win. He's having his best season yet. He's been really impressive. But I like the thing that the Bears are doing, especially at home. They're really tough to beat. He can make his adjustments he wants to. He's not really making as many mistakes either. He generally protects the football pretty well. So give me Baylor to win this one at home. I'm going to say 28-24 on a game-winning touchdown drive. And that is going to do it for the predictions and therefore do it for the PR video. I'm not going to do any stats or anything like that, I don't think. But appreciate people that are watching now, are going to watch in the future. Big 3 keynotes, always stay on top of your recruiting. There's no reason you shouldn't be at least be getting 3 stars. Make sure you stream your games. It's supposed to be streamed. Game of the week is always pinned at the top of the the schedule and the new messages. If you are the road team, you're supposed to be streaming. And then finally, stay on top of the rules. So we've had a couple rule breaks the last couple weeks. It hasn't been too many. Definitely, we're getting a lot better than we used to, guys. I mean, we had none last season, and we only had, I think, 2 this season or something like that. Or we had 1 last season, 2 this season. So we've been staying on top of that and doing really well. So let's keep it at that. And everybody have a good night.